Every day you obey a time system that makes absolutely no modern sense. Your phone says 8:37. Your microwave says 1:30. Your calendar says Tuesday. Your brain accepts all of this, like, yes, naturally, time is made of 60s, very normal. But stop for half a second. Why is an hour 60 minutes? Why not 100? Why not 10? Why did humanity look at the entire universe and decide, you know what this needs? 60 tiny slices and a clock face that looks like a math pizza. The answer is not because time itself comes in 60s. Time does not care. The sun is not up there counting seconds like a gym teacher with a whistle. The answer is weirder. Your modern clock is basically a fossil. A very clean, glass screen fossil. Every time you check your phone, you are touching a stack of ancient habits. People staring at shadows, priests watching stars, merchants doing math, astronomers slicing circles, monks ringing bells, clockmakers building gears, and eventually, your alarm screaming at you because ancient math got promoted into your bedroom. So today, we are answering one tiny question with a suspicious amount of human history. Why is an hour 60 minutes? First, the obvious theory. Maybe someone just picked 60 because old people enjoyed inconvenience. This is tempting. History does contain a lot of decisions that feel like someone dropped a system down the stairs and then made children memorize it. But 60 is not random. It is weird, yes, but it is a very useful kind of weird. The first thing to understand is that ancient people did not begin with minutes. Nobody in ancient Egypt woke up and said, "Meeting at 9:17, bring papyrus, do not be late." For most of human history, time was not a grid. It was a sky situation. Morning was when the sun showed up. Noon was when it got bossy. Evening was when the light started leaving. Night was when everything became a guessing game with stars. If you were farming, traveling, praying, baking, hunting, guarding a city gate, or trying not to get lost, exact minutes were not the main problem. The main problem was, is it light? Is it dark? Is winter coming? And how much shadow does this stick have? That is the first big reveal. Before clocks measured time, shadows performed time. Ancient people watched the sun move across the sky and noticed a very useful thing. Shadows change in a predictable way. Put a stick in the ground and the shadow becomes a slow, free, solar-powered pointer. Congratulations, you have invented the world's least portable notification system. Sundials did not give people 8:37, they gave people chunks of the day. Morning-ish, midday-ish, late afternoon-ish, enough to coordinate life before everyone became a tiny scheduling machine. But daytime was only half the problem. The night also needed structure. This is where ancient Egypt becomes important. Egyptians developed ways of dividing the day and night into parts. One important tradition divided daylight into 12 parts and nighttime into 12 parts. And if you are doing mental math right now, yes, that gives us 24. But do not picture a perfect modern day yet. Early hours were often seasonal hours. That means a daytime hour in summer could be longer than a daytime hour in winter, because daylight itself was longer. The hour was not always a fixed 60-minute brick. It was more like, take the daylight and cut it into 12 pieces, which is elegant if you are ancient, and absolutely cursed if you are trying to make a train schedule. Imagine your boss saying, "Your shift is 8 hours, but today's hours are extra long because the sun is feeling dramatic." That is not labor policy, that is a sky loophole. At night, Egyptians used stars to help track time. Certain star groups, often discussed through what later sources call decans, helped mark the passing of night. The sky became a ceiling clock, except instead of numbers, it was cosmic dots and a priest with very strong patience. So Egypt helps explain why the full day becomes associated with 24 parts. But that still does not explain why each hour gets 60 minutes. For that, we need to leave the shadow stick and visit the ancient math department. Enter Mesopotamia. Ancient Mesopotamian cultures, especially the Babylonians, became extremely good at astronomy and mathematics, and they used something called a sexagesimal system, which is a fancy way of saying base 60. Base 10 is what we use for most daily counting, probably because humans have 10 fingers and we are very impressed by our own hands. Base 60 is different. It sounds like a system invented by someone who saw 10 fingers and said, "Cute, but what if math had more elbow room?" And honestly, 60 is kind of a beast. 60 divides cleanly by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, 15, 20, and 30. That matters because division is where numbers either become useful or start acting like wet cardboard. If you want to split something into halves, thirds, quarters, fifths, sixths, tenths, twelfths, and more, 60 behaves beautifully. 10 is fine. 10 is tidy. 10 has a little briefcase. 60 walks into the room with a tool belt. This is why 60 is not just a random old number. It is a very divisible number. Ancient astronomers and mathematicians liked numbers that could be split cleanly because the sky does not care about your feelings, but it does reward good bookkeeping. Now, important correction. Babylonians did not hand you your exact phone clock. No one in Babylon was setting a timer for garlic bread. What they did help preserve and develop was a powerful math tradition for dividing quantities into sixtieths. This base 60 habit became deeply connected to astronomy. And astronomy is where time, angles, calendars, and circles start sharing one messy office. Look at a circle. We still divide it into 360 degrees. That is 6 times 60. Then each degree can be divided into 60 minutes of arc, and each minute into 60 seconds of arc. These are angle measurements, not clock minutes, but the family resemblance is not an accident. The ancient sky needed measurement. Where is this star? How far has something moved? How do we describe the circle of the heavens? How do we calculate patterns before calculators existed and before everyone could just type "moon weird tonight" into a search bar? Sexagesimal math was useful for that. So the second big reveal is, your clock inherited its weird number system from people trying to make the sky behave on paper. Now we have two ingredients sitting on the table. From Egyptian-style timekeeping traditions, we get the day divided into 24 parts. From Mesopotamian and later astronomical math traditions, we get a strong habit of dividing things into 60s. But the story still has a missing piece. If ancient people had hours, why did we need minutes and seconds? The answer is, for a long time, most people did not. Minutes and seconds are not natural life chunks. They are precision chunks. They become useful when your tools are precise enough and your society is annoying enough to need them. The word minute comes from an idea of a smaller part. In old astronomical language, an hour could be divided into a first small part, and then that small part could be divided again into a second small part. That is basically where minute and second come from. First small division, second small division. Which is hilarious because second sounds like the universe had a tiny stopwatch, but really it is more like math saying, smaller, now smaller again. Seconds are not called seconds because they are second place in a race. They are seconds because they are the second subdivision. Extremely literal, almost rude. But for everyday life, this level of precision was not immediately useful. Picture a medieval farmer being told, "Please arrive at 6:42. He looks at the sun, he looks at the field, he looks at you. He says, "I own one rooster and a shadow. Please calm down." For most people, bells, daylight, meals, work rhythms, religious schedules, and local customs mattered more than exact minutes. Even when mechanical clocks started appearing in medieval Europe, early clocks were not always precision machines by modern standards. They were public time announcers. Town clocks, church bells, monastery schedules. Time became louder before it became microscopic. That is a strange but important shift. Ancient time was something you observed. medieval and early modern clock time became something that announced itself at you. And modern time is something that follows you around in your pocket and judges your sleep habits. This is the third big reveal. Minutes and seconds became powerful when clocks became good enough to make ancient sky math personal. Mechanical clocks helped turn equal hours into daily infrastructure. Later, better clocks made minutes normal. Pendulum clocks improved accuracy. Pocket watches made portable time more realistic. Railroads and telegraphs pushed standardized time because local sun time is charming until two trains disagree at speed. Eventually, the second became so important that modern science had to define it with extreme precision. Today, the official second is tied to atomic behavior, which means your phone's time is now connected to ancient star math, mechanical gears, industrial schedules, and atoms doing tiny, reliable dances. That is a lot of historical pressure inside the number 60. So when you see 12, 34, 56, you are not looking at a simple number display. You are looking at ancient skywatching, Babylonian division habits, Egyptian day-night structure, Greek and later astronomical transmission, medieval clock culture, industrial standardization, and modern physics all stacked together like the world's nerdiest sandwich. And the best part is that none of this was inevitable. We could have decimal time. People have tried. The French Revolution famously experimented with decimal time. 10 hours in a day, 100 minutes in an hour, 100 seconds in a minute. Very clean, very rational, very French Revolution. And almost nobody wanted to live inside it. Because time systems are not just math. They are habits. They are institutions. They are clocks already built into walls. They are workers, churches, schools, ships, markets, calendars, railways, laws, and millions of people who will riot emotionally if you tell them lunch is now at 4.8. Decimal time makes sense on paper, but base 60 time had something stronger than logic. It had momentum. History is often not the best system winning. It is the system that becomes too embedded to remove without society making the Windows error noise. So why is an hour 60 minutes? Because humans did not invent time once. We layered it. We started with the sun, then shadows, then stars, then 12 day parts and 12 night parts, then base 60 math that made fractions and astronomy easier. Then scholars divided hours into smaller and smaller pieces. Then clocks got good enough to show those pieces. Then modern society got obsessed enough to need them. And now you can be late by 3 minutes to a video call thanks to ancient people who were just trying to understand the sky without a spreadsheet. And somehow, all of that ended up inside the clock app on your phone. Those clean digital numbers are ancient sky math in a very modern outfit. The numbers are not there because nature demanded them. They are there because thousands of years of human habit made them feel normal. Every hour is 60 minutes because 60 was useful, sticky, divisible, astronomically convenient, and historically impossible to evict. So the next time your alarm goes off at 7, remember, you are not just waking up. You are being summoned by a Babylonian math ghost, an Egyptian shadow stick, a medieval bell tower, a railroad schedule, and an atom, all working together to ruin your morning.